If you're watching this video, there is a high chance you want to make money. Lots of money. I mean, who doesn't want money? Money is like the grease in a mechanical engine. This video is the second part of a video I made earlier about businesses that can easily transform you into a millionaire in Africa. If you haven't watched that video, the link is in the description below. In this video, I'm not only going to talk about the businesses that can easily transform you into a millionaire, but I'm going to give you the strategies that are going to make a difference. Generally, the businesses in our list can do very well in any other African country. More to that, I'm going to emphasize on the countries that will take these businesses to the next level. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. I'm going to tell you some of those countries, some of those African countries where these businesses can be more lucrative. Now, another business that is easily going to make you a millionaire in Africa is a logistic business. Now, this sector is going to succeed for many reasons. Currently, intra-African trade is at 15%, meaning that Africans don't really trade within themselves. But then this number is going to rise tremendously. What many Africans and people around the world don't actually know as of now is that in about 2 years to come, more than 90% of all African countries will be interlinked by a highway, known as a Trans-African Highway. Now, this is a project that has been going on for decades. I will finally be coming into completion in a few years. The next business I'm going to talk about is actually food and agriculture. Yeah, now I know some people will think that, yeah, food and agriculture, this thing, we know it, we already know this. I'm putting in this point. Yes, that's what people always say, and that's why they don't actually do food and agriculture, because they just assume that food and agriculture is something common, but they don't actually take their time to understand how food and agriculture can impact their finances. Now, despite the fact that Africa has large agricultural fields and rich soils, food has never been sufficient in Africa. More to that, the population of Africa keeps growing higher than any other part in the world. So, this tells us that agriculture, whether we like it or not, whether we want to do it or not, is going to be there as a business that will not fail and that can never fail. Now, I want to give you a practical example, and I'm choosing Cameroon. Now, all Cameroonians out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know this is very precise. The cost of production of one watermelon in Cameroon is 33 cents. Yes, I mean, this is it, 33 cents. And watermelon is sold in Cameroon at $1.55. I'm talking about the small size watermelon. Now, I have bought watermelon in Cameroon for $3. Now, just look at the proportion. Look at the difference. Which business in this world gives money like this? This is business. This is real business. And we are talking about a continent whose population is growing every year, whose population is estimated to double by 2050. So this is it. This is the actual situation. So I don't want us to talk much about agriculture, because agriculture is something that anyone can actually observe. So I don't want us to waste time on this particular point. We'll move to the next point. Our next business is real estate. Now, I know people will say that, hey, real estate, we know about real estate. We know about real estate, we can do this thing. No. Real estate is not for everybody, and it's not for every country. I'm talking about commercially viable. There are countries in Africa that I will not advise you to do real estate, and there are some countries that I will tell you to rush and go and do real estate, to go and carry out your real estate business. Now, for example, if you go to Nigeria now, if you have your money, go to Nigeria now, you want to do real estate, you are going to succeed. If you go to South Africa now, you're going to succeed in real estate. If you go to Ghana, to Kenya, to Egypt right now, and you want to do real estate, you are going to succeed. Now, this is an example of somebody who left Sierra Leone with his money. He's a billionaire. He left Sierra Leone with his money. He didn't do real estate in Sierra Leone. He went and did real estate in Nigeria. Nigeria has a deficit of 20 million homes. That makes commercial sense. It makes commercial sense. Now, if you want to do real estate, you can go to Nigeria and do real estate. Now, why should you actually do real estate? These countries that I've mentioned, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Egypt, Ghana, all these countries have a 400% boom in commercial real estate demand. 400% is not 40%, it's not 4%. So we should understand that. Now, there is a particular way of actually doing real estate. Many people fail in real estate. Even in Nigeria, you can go to Nigeria and still fail in real estate. I'm thinking of making a separate video on real estate for this issue because real estate is very broad, it's very huge. But I'm going to give you some small secrets. Not everybody can make it in real estate. Those making it in real estate have secrets. I'm just going to give you one, and I'll make another video and give you others. Now, if you want to start the real estate, just take a country like Nigeria, for example. If you are in Lagos, this is what you need to do. First of all, you need to bear in mind that land is very expensive in Lagos. That's the first thing that will kick you out of the business. Because if you buy land very expensive, you are already putting yourself out of the business. You need to look for a way to buy land cheap. How can you do this? The first thing is you go to the outskirts of town. Don't think that land in the outskirts of town is cheap. It's still expensive, but here is the secret. What you need to do is, most of those people who own land in the outskirts of town, most of the villagers who own land far in the outskirts of town, they don't have the resources to open up their land to sell, which is the normal requirement that governments give in Africa currently. Governments don't permit you to sell land without opening up into roads. So what you need to do is, with $5,000, just with $5,000, you can rent a tractor and a truck. You get your truck, you get your bulldozer, you get to those places, you propose your services. You tell them, I want to open 2 hectares of land. How much land are you going to give me? I want to open 6 hectares of land. How much land are you going to give me in return? You are not buying land from them. You want to open 30 hectares of land. How much land are you going to give me as my benefit? If I'm opening 30 hectares, are you going to give me 1 hectare? Are you going to give me 2 hectares for 30 hectares? That is the deal. That's the secret behind real estate that nobody will ever tell you. Nobody will ever give you that kind of secret. Now, outsourcing is going to do very well for several reasons. For decades, the traditional outsourcing destinations in the world have been Latin America, the Middle East, Asia, but then the aging population and economic growth in these countries have made labor to be very expensive. Now, Africa offers the perfect alternative, having the world's youngest population with an average age of 18 years. Most youths in Africa are educated and unemployed. More than half of Africa's university graduates are unemployed, and this is something that happens year in, year out. So you can imagine the pool of unemployed, qualified youths that are out there. In Ethiopia, a company known as Geba trains its employees to become software engineers that assist companies across the world. Now, these are all lucrative businesses that you can start up anywhere across Africa. These guys just want a job. So note that unlike other places in the world where language is actually a barrier, for example, China, you need to know Chinese to ever actually invest in Chinese sometimes. But in Africa, if you are from Europe or the US, you want to open up an outsourcing company in Africa, it is easy for you to, if you speak English, it's easy for you to start up in Uganda, Nigeria. In fact, there are many English-speaking countries in Africa. Likewise, in French, if you want to start up an outsourcing company and your desired language is French, you have countries like Senegal, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Chad. I mean, the opportunities are much. There's also an option for Spanish, Equatorial Guinea, and Portuguese, Angola. The options are very wide. You have the youths who are educated, who can speak several languages. Now, this is actually huge and actually makes Africa a fertile bed for outsourcing companies. COVID led to the development of new businesses, especially online businesses. But as it died down, so do these businesses die with it. But then there is one business that is here to stay, and this business is no other than the ghost kitchen. Now, what is the ghost kitchen? Let's look at Google's definition. Now, a business operating from low rent or non-commercial premises that prepares food ordered online for delivery directly to customers. Ghost kitchens and virtual restaurant brands have exploded in popularity. So what you need to do is you open up a website and you start cooking. Now, the concept of this business is to serve people who don't want to go to the restaurant. Not everybody wants to go to the restaurant. I, for one, it's not all the time I like to go to the restaurant. And sometimes it is very painful to go to a restaurant. I don't find what you want to eat. More and more people who get services from ghost kitchens are reporting that they are becoming more and more addicted to ghost kitchen services. Now, and whoever talks about addiction in business talks about money. Now, more to that, the ghost kitchens are very easy to set up. It requires you pay no rent. You can do it from your house. We just need a website where you can carry on business as usual. Sometimes it's very painful to leave your house looking for a particular thing to eat, and you move from restaurant to restaurant. I don't find what you want to eat. Now the ghost kitchen brings this perfect solution for that, and they send that food directly to your house. You don't need to go out of your home. You don't need to go out of your house. You don't need to go out of your office. Wherever you are, they can serve you. The concept is that wherever you are, the owner of the business is going to serve you with whatever you want to eat. That is it, and it's simple. And you know, food, they don't joke with food. The stomach is very important. In Africa, they say a hungry man is an angry man. This information we're giving to you is free. The only thing we only want in return is for you to massage that like button. Massage the like button and hit the subscribe if you haven't done so. See you in the next video.